Hi, I'm Donna Wolfe from Naztazia.com. Today I'll show you how to crochet this winter hat. To do this, you will need about 200 yards of worsted weight yarn and a size H crochet hook. To begin, chain 41 for an average woman's size hat. Other sizes are also on my website. Skip the first chain and make one single crochet in each of the next 12 chains. You'll want to find something that works as a stitch marker at this time. We need to mark that 12th single crochet stitch. I like to use small plastic pins, but feel free to use scraps of yarn or a bobby pin or anything else you prefer. And then we are just going to single crochet across the rest of the chain. You can see how the first 12 stitches form the brim part of the hat, and the remainder is the crown or top part of the hat. Row 2 now starts the pattern. We'll chain 1 and turn. Since we're working on the top or crown part of the hat, we're going to do this pattern. Skip the first stitch, and in the next stitch, make 2 single crochet stitches. And repeat. Skip the next stitch, and then in the next stitch, make 2 single crochet stitches. And again, skip the next stitch, and then in the next stitch, make 2 single crochet stitches. And one more time, skip the next stitch, and then make 2 single crochet stitches in the next stitch. Continue with this pattern all the way across the row until the stitch right before the stitch marker. Now, at the stitch marker, we're going to take the stitch marker out temporarily, and this time we're working on the brim pattern, which is 1 single crochet in the back loops for a total of 12 single crochet stitches across the brim part. And we're working in the back loops so we can create a nice stretchy brim part that goes around our forehead nicely. Now you can see how I crocheted the remaining 12 stitches on that part of the row. As we proceed to row 3, we'll begin this time with working on the brim part again. So we chain 1 and turn our work. It becomes evident to us as we're crocheting that this section of the row is the brim part. We are going to crochet in the stitch marker since that designates stitch number 12 of the brim section. And then we replace the stitch marker for subsequent rows, only if needed, of course, going forward. You might visually see where the brim part ends and won't need the markers. As we proceed now with the top crown section, we're going to do our stitch pattern of skipping the first stitch and making 2 single crochet stitches all in that next stitch. And we repeat, skip the next stitch and make 2 single crochet stitches in the next stitch. And again, skip the next stitch and make 2 single crochet stitches in the next stitch. Continue with this pattern across the row. Going forward, we repeat rows 2 and 3. Just remember when on the top or crown section part of the row, we do the skip 1 and 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And on the brim section of the row, we do the 12 single crochet stitches in the back loops. Also, before you get too far along, measure your work. The width of the work should be about 12 inches across. I made a total of 66 rows for my hat, but you'll want to make enough rows until you reach 19 or 20 inches. The next step is to sew the back seam together, so place the brim part on the bottom and fold the hat in half like this, and then use whatever stitch you want and sew the piece together. I have tutorials online for sewing with crochet if needed. The next step, I usually use 2 strands of yarn. We'll be weaving in and out along the top edge to close the gap on top of the hat. I usually weave in and out every 4 rows. If you make too small of a stitch, it's more difficult to gather on top. Weaving like this makes the hat close up easier. I then cinch the piece together and tie and knot it several times, then weave in the ends inside the hat. You can also sew on a pom-pom if you wish. And that's how I crochet a winter hat.